Hi loves, how are you? How are you doing? My amazing souls, I will. I really hope that you are. It's so pretty, right? Mm, yes. Okay, now I was wondering today, what shall we do? It's been a very busy, a very hectic time. I actually didn't get the time to upload on Friday. I'm sorry for that, but today is Sunday morning. It's almost 11. I'm shooting this to edit it and have it posted so that you can watch it by 3:30. It's not easy, but yeah, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. So this is a what? A podcast. Okay, so on today's episode of Different Opinions podcast, what are we going to discuss? It's you, of course, it's your storyteller, Mentor Caterina, and I welcome you to today's episode of the podcast. All right. Remember, we say having different opinions is what is okay here. We've just celebrated, or we are still in that weekend mood of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, and that is why I thought to wear this colorful, pretty t-shirts from the Weekend Work program. Yes, that we got on that day. So let's do some reflections on the day. There was, of course, it is celebrated every 3rd December globally, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. And this time in Kenya, they were almost everywhere. I happened to be at the national museums. I had friends who were at Uhuru Park at the Kenya School of Government, like for those around Nairobi, and several more that were happening all over the country. Now, where I was, one thing I didn't like, and this needs to really stop. It was held at the National Museums of Kenya at the Louis Leakey, is it Louis Leakey or Louis Leakey Auditorium. Number one, that place, that auditorium, let's start with the auditorium. It is so inaccessible for persons with disabilities. Yes. Like it is steep going down towards the auditorium to no going towards the podium. So it's steep like that. The place where you're supposed to follow that pathway leading to the podium is so steep. Some disabilities cannot access it. And even for you who can access it, you have to be careful. Otherwise, you might fall on your face. The other thing, the podium. It's Persons with Disabilities Day. They will be presenting or going up the podium. The podium has no ramp. It is just stairs. Again, inaccessible. So you are like, when the people who are putting this together were doing it, did you really consider us, persons with disabilities, when choosing that venue? Because as I have said, it's inaccessible. So what was going through your mind? Did that committee have persons with disabilities to advise, like, this venue will not do, because it begins from the planning stages. If you're doing something for persons with disabilities, let it start from the planning stages. Have us in those committees while you're planning this. It's supposed to be our day. We are supposed to come out of that place, that event, feeling like, yes, That was my day. I felt celebrated, I felt acknowledged, I felt, you know, like my presence was the in thing, the main thing, you know. The other thing, it's our day. We know ourselves, we know our challenges, our triumphs and success stories and all that. Why are you doing these events and you're not incorporating the larger society? Because we are talking inclusion. We are supposed to incorporate persons without disabilities, especially on such days, so that we advocate to them, so that we create awareness to them. But if it's just us, target audience, you know, what are we telling us? What are we telling us that we don't know? You know, yes, it's good to learn about the different types of disabilities, but when are we involving the larger community? When? These are the days to incorporate them. These are the days to have 100% representation persons with disabilities and another 100% persons without disabilities. We need to be having days, events, forums, meetings, trainings, workshops where they are with us. The larger society is with us, so that they get to understand, they get to hear from us, they get to know, they get to learn. Because unfortunately, we do not have disability as a subject in our schools. So we just meet with them out here, and both parties don't know how to deal with the others. So incorporate them when we are having such days, such events. Let them get to bond with us, get to see that apart from the disability, we are humans. A lot of what they can do, we can do. We are fun, we are this way, we are that way. So that we don't remain closed up, that it's just us in our world doing our things all day, every day. We need inclusion, because unfortunately the disability club is always open. It's always open. No one has to send an application to join. It can happen any day, anytime. And unfortunately, for those that join the community when they are already maybe adults or later in life, they don't know how to transition. You've been in your own world for so long. You've been in your own world for so long that didn't really include persons with disabilities. Now you have to join this persons with disabilities club community, and you have no idea where to begin. So they are the target audience. Incorporate them when we are organizing these events. Let them get to mingle with us. Let us get to know each other, bond with each other, enjoy each other, learn each other. It's the only way. It's the only way we are going to achieve the inclusion we are singing, crying, hoping, and praying for, and working towards each and every day. Yeah. Then the other thing, you find that in some of these events and places that they were happening, these venues, you'll find that some prominent persons like politicians, etc., had said that they are going to be the guests of honor. So the posters are out there, and you know, in this place, sorry, so and so is going to be the guest of honor. And then shock on everyone, they never show up. Yes, they didn't. They didn't show up on the day. They didn't show up for the event. Not even a courtesy call. So like where I was at the National Museum, We waited, and the event was supposed to start around what, 8:30 a.m. We reached there early and waited and waited and waited. You know, we were kept waiting and waiting and waiting for our chief guest of honor, who was a no-show, a complete no-show. So the event ended up starting at 11. You have persons with diverse disabilities in that place. They've been kept doing nothing until 11 a.m. Due to the diversity of the disabilities and the extremities, some are just too impatient by that time. So you leave caregivers with the burden of trying to find things to do with them, to engage them, so that they can still hold on and wait, you know. So by the time it's starting, some are just too tired, no longer into it. Like, you've disoriented, especially the psychosocial, you've disoriented some of us so bad, because it's been hours of waiting. And in those hours of waiting, you've invited persons with disabilities. It is their day. You don't have a budget for breakfast. There was no breakfast. So you have to wait until lunchtime. Surely, who does that? If you're having persons with disabilities in your forums, there has to be tea and some snacks, something around 10, 11, thereabout. You know, there wasn't. So please, enough with taking the box, guys. Enough. You know, it wasn't easy keeping everyone under control. You know, we had to go and find a way for those who couldn't wait much longer, go and find especially the caregivers, what are these youths are going to eat as they wait, because they can't wait until lunchtime. They can't. We can't. And then the event begins at 11. It's just chaotic. It's like when those now that are there, the organizers or whoever, once they found out that the chief guest is no longer coming, it's like now the event doesn't really matter, you know. So it's like it really wasn't about us. So things are just happening, you know. Things just happened, and before we know it, we are praying for food to go for lunch. And as we go for lunch, we notice they are removing their banners from the event. We've not been told the event is over. No vote of thanks, no. So we had to advise ourselves to disperse after lunch. We had our meals and just left. And everyone was like, what was that? Our community was disappointed. Disappointed is an understatement. We were disappointed. We were frustrated. But you are going to plaster our photos all over your website and wherever, and say you conducted a celebration for persons with disabilities on the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. But did you? Did you really? And even those that were in Uhuru Park were crying the same. Also, the chief guest of honor never came. He was a no-show as well. My guys, please stop. Please. Stop using us, especially on such important days. Let it be about us if it really is about us, or then don't have them at all. Let's have them within our own organizations then, because this was sad. Personally, I didn't feel like I celebrated the Day of Persons with Disabilities. I didn't feel celebrated. I was so frustrated, so disappointed. I was like, it should have then been my day of rest, and I should have just stayed at home and celebrated myself and be like, yay, woohoo, Caterina, for the far that you've come. Please stop ticking boxes with us. Please stop. We were disappointed this time. We really were. And making everything so political, so political. So is it about us, or is it about politics and politicians? Can we do better? And I think this will be my call to organizations of persons with disabilities. On these days, please take charge. Please take charge. Just be the ones taking charge of these events. Let them come in perhaps as sponsors, donors, something. But take charge, so that we don't have to be crying like this every other year, because the things that they are doing, they are not for us. They're not for us, they're not for our good. So please take charge of these events. Be the main organizers. Let them come in. If they're going to fund, let them come in as funders, but not the main organizers, not the main people. We are tired of these disappointments, to be honest. Anywho, do have a lovely Sunday, and I'll see you on the next one. And if you're a person with disabilities and you attended a forum on this day that was to your liking, you can also comment down there, so that we applaud those that at least did a good job, right? Yeah, so let me know in the comments how this year on the Day of Persons with Disabilities was for you. For the organizations that are doing a good job for us, thank you so much. Mastercard Foundation for the Weekend Work program, with all these people that you're doing it with, especially the UDPK and Light for the World, ADF, African Disability Forum, that are overseeing it, and all the people that are coming in. Thank you. Crosswise Works, GFD, Ghana, sorry, Ghana Federation of Disability Organization, UND, IPU, Woodall, this Federation. Okay, I can't read this. It's in a certain language. FSAPH, Site Savers, and everyone else that is doing a good job when it comes to disability inclusion. Like, for real. God bless you. Caterina, signing out.